about to play Will Must Die on our show for the very first time, so I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit about this track and where it came from.
Yeah, I guess, so I think I was in a situation where I had a bit of a nasty sort of housemate that I was living with who sort of just went off the rails a bit, and so I was sort of dealing with that and processing that. So it's just, I think, lyrically just one of those generic stick it to the man kind of songs. And yeah, I was listening to a lot of sort of early Who at the time, so that sort of, I don't know, like pre-punk, aggressive 60s pop sort of sound come through there musically. So yeah, it just kind of came from that.
How important is that for you as a songwriter sometimes to be able to just sit down and write a song that is venting? Is that something that you find is a great release for anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it sort of is, but then, like, sometimes when you come back to it and you look at it and you're just like, oh, you know, that's a bit hardcore, did I mean that? Or that sort of thing, and it's like, oh, that was a bit harsh, was I really feeling that, or do I mean this? So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but, you know, like, I'll go with anything if it sounds good, really, is my motto.
Now, you mentioned about listening to a lot of early Who at that time, and a lot of people have also mentioned that there's a bit of Smashing Pumpkins and Regurgitator in there as well, which makes it sound like my Spotify playlist. Tell us a little bit about those influences as well.
Yeah, I guess probably coming out of that as well, I don't know, it was just listening to a lot of 90s music, like a bit of sort of trip-hop stuff as well, but, you know, I think Michelle and I especially were listening to a lot of, like Regurgitator, and I don't know, I had Cherub Rock on a playlist that was coming up a lot, so that sort of was coming through too. So yeah, it's just I guess a combination of those two worlds really. Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit last time we spoke, but this I think comes through even more on this track. You have such a unique sound with the band. Tell us a little bit about how that sound has evolved over the years.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say over the years because, I mean, some of these tracks are like, you know, they've been around for a while and certainly just, you know, been at the final stage getting them finished. But, I mean, I think we've all got pretty diverse tastes, so we're pretty, I guess, versatile, some might say, in terms of sounds and whatever. But, yeah, I think... you know, as a producer, I'm pretty meticulous about a lot of things as well, and I just like to pick the things that serve the track best. And so, obviously, this is one of the more aggressive songs that we do. So, just kind of, I don't know, we're able to do that when called for.
Definitely. Now, The Fixer did so well when it came out. I think it got picked up by a few hundred radio stations around the world. Does that make you feel a little bit less nervous about Will Must Die coming out now?
I don't know, really, because you never know. I just kind of go with it and see what happens. I mean, I never take, you know, in this industry, never take any sort of success for granted or never kind of assume anything, really. I've known many talented people with, you know, a good pedigree who don't get the success they deserve, and some people who maybe get a bit more success than their talent would indicate that they've deserved over the years. So, yeah, I never really take it for granted. I just kind of, you know, just try and do the best that I think I can do and get it out there and see what happens.
Definitely. Now, talking about getting it out there, you guys have just announced a launch show on December 17th at Bar 303. How excited are you about being able to get out there and play these tracks live?
Terribly excited. What can I say? We love getting out there and playing it, and so yeah, we're just really keen to kind of, I guess, see off the year. It's been, you know, the past few years have all been a bit weird, and so this is sort of like the first year where we're sort of approaching whatever normality is these days. So it's good to kind of see it off in a grand fashion and just get out there and do it.
And what are your plans for the rest of the summer? Are you hoping to get out there and do some more shows apart from the one on December 17th, or are you going to look to head into the studio to record?
Yeah, a bit of both. I think, Pete, our guitarist, is actually moving to Sydney, so in the new year we'll sort of reassess what we can do. I think we'll probably try and look to continue as a trio and see what we can do, and maybe for if the situation arises, if Pete's in town or we go there, we can play a show with him or something. But probably just trying to work out how we can put on a good show with just the three of us, and always working on new tracks. So maybe probably just in this little period, take stock and work out where we're all at and go from there, I think.
Awesome. Well, mate, we are going to play The Fixer and Will Must Die back to back on our show right now. What would you like to say to all the listeners out there before they listen to these great tracks back to back?
Thank you as always, and glad that you enjoy it.